early 20th century was a time of great change in American society. The country was coping with the changing economy, resulting in urbanization. People were moving off of farms and into cities to work in the new industrialized world. On top of that, the culture and diversity of America was constantly evolving as immigration continued to thrive in the United States. In the year 1900, the U.S. population grew to over 75 million people, and the cakewalk was the most popular dance. In 1901, Theodore Roosevelt became the President of the United States after William McKinley was assassinated. This occurred in Buffalo, New York at the Pan American Exposition. Also in 1901, J.P. Morgan organizes the U.S. Steel Corporation, creating the start of big business in America, as well as railroad expansion across the country. In 1902, Enrico Caruso records his first phonograph record, leading the way to sound recording technology and eventually the luxury of music in the classroom. 1903 was another year of technological advancements, as Orville and Wilbur Wright make the first powered flight at Kitty Hawk, and Henry Ford founds his famous motor company, both making great strides toward mobility throughout the nation. In 1904, construction begins on the Panama Canal, allowing easier passage from Europe to Asia, resulting in an increase in cultural diffusion. The Industrial Workers of the World is established in the year 1905, becoming one of the world's first labor unions. Also, Debussy composes La Mer. In the year 1906, New York City's population grows to 4 million people, becoming a prime example of America's diversity of culture as well as cultural music. Also, Upton Sinclair writes The Jungle, leading to the Pure Food and Drug Act, as well as Meat Inspection Acts. In 1907, America saw many changes. U.S. immigration became restricted and all Japanese were banned. Oklahoma became the 46th state, and Model Ts, the product of assembly lines, began to hit the road. 1907 also brought about the Music Supervisors National Convention, allowing music educators the chance to come together, discuss, and create standards in music education. In the year 1908, William Howard Taft is elected President of the United States, and the FBI is created. And finally, in the year 1909, Sigmund Freud lectures on psychoanalysis, leading to the start of psychology and its effect on education. Also, W.E.B. Du Bois founds the NAACP, one of the first organizations created in the fight for equal rights for African Americans. There were three great composers of the early 20th century, including Scott Joplin, the king of ragtime music. Scott Joplin led the development of the ragtime style, composing The Entertainer and Maple Leaf Rag in the year of 1903. He was awarded the Pulitzer Prize for his contributions to American music and was a strong advocate for music education. Another great composer of the era was the March King John Philip Sousa. Sousa served in the U.S. Marine Corps as an apprentice musician and head of the Marine Band. He composed 136 marches, and after leaving the Marine Corps, formed the Sousa Band, performing in more than 15,000 concerts. Sousa was also able to greatly influence the development of bands as well as the appearance of school bands. The final composer is Irving Berlin. Berlin was known as a great lyricist and composer and greatly impacted American song. He composed Alexander's Ragtime Band and also composed for Broadway and film.
To the leader man, the ragged meter man.
The events and music of the early 20th century led to great changes in not only American society, but also in education. Industrialism, urbanization, and immense immigration led many Americans needing to adapt to the changes around them. This need was met by John Dewey, leading the nation through the pragmatism movement, which in turn led to progressivism. These two philosophies adapted education in new ways, providing education as a tool to prepare students for work in the new and changing economy while preventing child labor. They also changed the way that students were taught, reacting against the traditional teaching methods of memorization, drill, and recitation practices. Progressives such as Dewey and Froude argued for more freedom of self-expression and a more open learning environment in which children could release the energy of their instinctive impulses in creative ways. As a result, school bands became more of a popular trend in schools as well as in the community. The changes made during the early 20th century had a massive effect on America, shaping the very country and educational standards that we have today.